We already got the ding. Okay.
We got the ding. Did the ding sync the audio?
Welcome to the Triple F podcast. This is the first one we've ever done in a real studio.
Yeah, welcome to the studio podcast. Episode, what is it, 78 now?
So, I don't know.
I don't know. Me neither.
We have our buddy CJ Landry here.
Hey. Very funny CJ Landry, everybody.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I'm not going to lie to you, dude. We were supposed to have Cam Patterson today, and we figured what better replacement for Cam Patterson than CJ Landry.
Oh man, I'm honored that you even said that.
Dude, honestly, I'm just honored to be mentioned in the sentence with Cam Patterson, dude.
Exactly.
Honestly, the next Kevin Hart.
Yeah, I mean, what can you say? The kid's a star.
Dude, he canceled on us today because he was like, I have a meeting with Black Rifle. I was like, okay, dude. Yeah. Go do your thing. Cam's a good guy, though. But yeah.
For sure.
Happy to have you here, dude.
Black Rifle, you mean his new gun connect?
It's actually just one of my boys from Orlando. Yeah, Black Rifle.
I don't know if you've heard it.
Yeah. Oh,
That's what I call my penis, Black Rifle.
Yeah. He's like, I got a meeting with Black Rifle. Cam's just jerking off. Yeah.
That's great. I love my dad used to say that whenever he would go to the bat. He would say that it was like very, classic of him to say inappropriate things when I was a kid, but he would say whenever he needed to go to the bathroom, he's like, I got to go shake hands with the president. That's what he would say.
That's funny to call your dick the president.
Yeah.
That's a good bit.
That's a good bit with like a woman.
Yeah.
Like, I know the president. And she's like, what? He's like, you want to see the president? She's like, yeah. And then you whip your cock out.
And then you sexually harass her.
And then you whip your cock out with like very, very hidden consent because technically she said she wanted to see the president.
We had a teacher in my high school get fired because he did this thing where he said, you want to kiss a rabbit between the ears? And then he like flipped his pockets inside out. Yeah, he got fucking fired.
Wait, how old though? You get fired.
How old was the kid or the teacher?
No, the teacher.
I don't know, like in his 40s.
No, the kid. I want to know the kid, obviously.
Oh, she's like 18.
Oh.
So it's like...
Oh, well, she sounds willing then.
Yeah, it sounds like it was her fault almost.
Yeah.
Just seen that coming.
I was in a car with a comic.
What was she wearing?
I was just going to say, you should have saw what she was wearing.
Well, how slutty were those uniforms?
Yeah.
Oh, you went to public schools, right?
Yeah, I went to public schools. We didn't have uniforms.
Okay. So she had some like juicy shorts on or something like that.
Yeah, they had
something some young slut would wear.
I remember they implemented a skirt rule where you had to like... Your hands had to touch the bottom of your skirt, otherwise you couldn't wear it. I was so goddamn mad. I was like, what the...
I went to Catholic schools, and our uniform is like a polo, and for the girls, it was like a very typical like green like plaid skirt, and that was the rule too. I think it couldn't be shorter than an inch above your knee, and it's like the uniform is already slutty.
I know.
Like, I mean, at what point do you have to go, maybe the problem is we have these girls dressing in like slutty plaid.
I remember that happening in my school, and they were like, in order for us to measure and see, you have to get on your knees. And we have to, and you're like, wait, what? Like,
you have to open your mouth.
You have to get on your knees first to see how far it touches from the ground. So that's how we measure it. So get on your knees. That's like,
dude, that's so weird.
Yeah,
in my office with the door shut.
It's so weird. I am like not that long ago, like a couple years ago, was like talking to this girl who I went to that school with, and she was like sending me nudes and shit. And then in one of them, she like sent me her in that skirt. Like she thought like this is sexy, and I was like, like I get why you think it's sexy, but like all I can think is like, oh, cool, you're wearing the outfit that you used to wear when I knew you when we were 15.
Yeah.
Doesn't really make my dick hard.
Right.
Not publicly, at least. That's for sure.
Not at least on this podcast it doesn't. Not when we're talking to the masses, it doesn't.
Oh, dude. Yeah. No, I can't have that be my image, man.
Yeah, you already have the stash for it. It's
yeah, you're halfway there.
Yeah, man. Yeah. The stash is really taking on a life of its own, honestly. An ex wanted me to grow it out.
You're kind of just growing a beard now.
This is just laziness, and I have a cold sore on my lips, so I'm trying to have the hair cover it so that girls don't go, ew, when I give them herpes.
It wanted to be a sneak attack.
I want to really fucking Pearl Harbor them in the middle of the night, dude.
Just kamikaze them with herpes.
I'm not trying to have them make the choice. I kind of want them to just be like, oh, fuck. And then maybe it happens later on. They don't know who it is.
I mean, we've had this conversation a million times, but I remember my buddy when I was at his party, he had a girl come over and like from Tinder or whatever, and they were they were like hooking up, and then she stopped him and was like, I have an outbreak right now of herpes. I have herpes. And then he came downstairs and asked for a condom. And I was like, that's nuts.
Oh,
that's
man.
crazy.
So that's a level.
That's down bad.
Down bad
that's
behavior.
Too bad. That's
I have slept with women who I knew had herpes, right?
Still crazy to me. Still crazy.
People have
to me.
herpes, but having an
crazy.
active outbreak is completely different. Dude, CJ, have you heard my HIV versus herpes bit?
No.
It's not a bit. It's actually just a stance that I take. Okay.
It's
all
nuts.
right. I want your feedback on it. Josh absolutely hates it. But medically speaking, this is accurate. So here we go.
According to Matt, the doctor.
No. Medically speaking, this is accurate.
Here we go.
Okay. So
Yeah, you know all the herpes commercials and all the herpes relief funds.
Yeah, listen,
campaigns.
in all my experience with HIV and herpes, this is medically accurate, okay?
Okay.
If the goal is to have sex with somebody who has either HIV or herpes and not get it, if they are both being treated with the medicine that we have available now, technically and medically speaking, having sex with somebody who has HIV and is being treated for it is safer than having sex with somebody with herpes who's being treated for it.
This sounds like an argument that somebody with HIV.
That's exactly.
Matt, do you have something to tell us?
Yeah.
I don't have. I'm all okay. So here's the thing: HIV. Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's useful for conversations like this. Honestly,
It's useful
That's
when
really
he tells you he slept with a lot of girls who have heard herpes. And I was like, what, dude? And he's like, it's
single digits
single digits.
who have had herpes for sure. Maybe less than 5. Not a
what
handful.
about HIV?
None. I don't.
None.
Not that I know of.
I can't believe you've had this conversation more than once.
Oh,
This
dude,
is
it's
crazy
it
that
drives
you've
me
thrown
crazy.
this
I've
stat
done it
around.
on stage. It didn't go very well.
It drives
Yeah,
me
no
nuts.
shit.
Well, so here's the science behind it. Okay.
Oh boy! Anytime you have to do a bit, go, here's the science behind it. It's bombing, dude. It's definitely
You guys
bombing.
are just dumb and you don't get it.
Okay, so here's the science. If you have herpes, what you do is you take Valtrex basically every day. I know people who have had herpes for like one of my good friends has had it since she was 16. She's had 2 outbreaks since then. 2, but she still had outbreaks, right? So technically speaking, if I or anybody else had unprotected sex with her while she had an outbreak, you could get it. If you have HIV and you get treated for it, the medication lowers your viral load to the point where it's not detectable in your blood at all. Right?
Dude,
you
all
don't
my
even
loads are
have
viral,
it.
bitch.
I'll give you a viral load.
So you can't transmit it. You don't even come up for it. Like if somebody was to test you for it, you don't even come up for it. So it is technically safer. So do with that information what you will. I don't know.
I don't think it's safer because the risk to reward. It's like if you
No,
get herpes, like you said, you get 2 outbreaks. You have AIDS, in theory.
No. Well, first off,
HIV is different than AIDS. Yeah, I know
that's
what you're
just
going to
an
say.
antiquated argument.
Yes, but you could develop AIDS.
You could if you got it, but you can't
What
because
if
that person, if they're medicated, basically doesn't have it. It won't show up in their blood. It's non-transmittable. If you test somebody for it, they don't have it.
Look, Matt, we still love you regardless of whatever you have going on.
Yeah. I am going to switch seats with you, though, CJ. You want to be close to this fucking guy? Dude, I'm not touching him.
Sounds like something that they would just tell you in an AIDS pamphlet after you
Yeah.
take AIDS drugs. Like, hey, you're fine.
Yeah, it's like one of those, like it's like a pamphlet at like an AA meeting where it's just like, do you have alcoholism? This one's like, do you have AIDS? And you open it up and it's like me, and it's like, it's really not that big of a deal.
You can still totally have sex with other
I
people.
will still totally fuck you.
Follow my Instagram.
My dumb face. Follow me at Matt Ross Comic. I check my message requests all the time.
I did.
Also, please fuck me.
Also, please fuck me. I did see a content creator one time. She was a TikToker, and her whole thing was that she had AIDS, and it was crazy.
Like full blown AIDS or
I don't
HIV?
Know. I don't know.
Either way, that is
it was like her
crazy.
handle was like absolutely positive
Oh
or
my
something like that.
No way.
It was her
Jesus Christ. Dude, people will do anything to be brave nowadays. Like, Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah. What's
People-
up, guys? Welcome to my YouTube channel.
You know how, like,
Today we're
people-
trying to not die.
Yeah. AZT, is it really that toxic? Like, it's funny. It's like that's like every content creator will tell you find your niche. AIDS is a crazy niche.
You have a specific demographic.
AIDS is such a crazy demographic to try to appeal to.
Here at Absolutely Positive, the glass is always half full. Half full of AIDS.
Follow my weight loss journey. Absolutely positive.
Oh fuck, dude, that's so good. Yeah, dude, that's crazy, man. I mean, I see sometimes on dating apps, girls will put that they have like herpes in their bios.
See, that's a thing where I think that there's a okay.
Oh my God!
So have you ever
just herpes and then like Psalms 3:16?
Yeah.
Oh my God, bitch, you're a slut.
It's like of him, for him, capitalized H, and then it's like HSV1 positive.
Yeah, that's like well, that's the thing where it's there. Okay, so you ever see like a girl? You ever see a girl with like she's like with a really attractive girl with like a really ugly dude, and you go, okay, he either's got money or she has like kids or herpes. Those are like what that's like the breakdown. I think that if you want, what I'm saying is, if you're an ugly dude, just wait till you're like 30, and then just like fuck single moms or girls who have herpes.
You know they have a dating app for people with herpes.
I bet you know that.
Somebody told me about it.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know why you know so much about all these topics.
There's something
it's just
about-
kind of freaking me out.
There's something about my vibe where people go,
started
hey,
it?
just by the way.
What started it?
I don't know.
Why did you go down this rabbit hole
I
so
get
hard?
cold sores for the record. I don't have herpes on my dick. Like
No, yeah.
I have the herpes that like 80% of the population has.
Yes.
But you can give it to people's genitals if you have one.
They
and
can
you get
transfer
down.
that way?
Breakout.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure. If I have like a blister and it's like bad, they don't get bad really anymore. But like if I have a blister and it's bad and I go down on some girl, she could get. It's still
Is ass herpes a thing?
Yeah, I think you could probably get herpes on your ass.
Is that just that would just
That'd be the
would suck.
funniest herpes.
You're fucking
the herpes fart thing.
yeah, herpes farts, dude. You're contagious,
viral,
dude.
baby.
Yeah.
You're just farting, it hurts. And it's like, what's wrong with you? It's like herpes farts. You don't get
herpes
it.
farts. You wouldn't
Herpes
get it.
farts. You know?
Everybody gets it in the nearby area, dude.
I don't know. Somebody just told
Pink
me
eye,
that.
you get it in your fucking herpes eye from a butthole.
Dang,
That makes me
would
sad.
suck. That makes
I've
me
never,
sad.
I don't think
dude.
that's real though.
herpes on your ass.
No, pink eye from a butthole.
Here's the deal, dude. I've never had pink eye. If that's how you got pink eye, I would have had pink eye by now.
I agree with that.
You know what I mean? Do you eat ass?
I have.
You don't seem passionate about it.
I'm not
though.
like I'm not. Yeah. Well, I mean, it is a weird thing to be passionate about. I think it's pretty. You're questioning a lot. There's probably a lot going on.
Yeah.
You're a freak if you're like passionate about eating ass. That's for sure. That's true.
Okay,
That's just
yeah.
factual.
Maybe there's an area between your energy for it and passion. Maybe there's just like a I like
Yeah.
to do it.
I mean, I think it's fun. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's like a nice caveat to like eating pussy. Like it's there. It's a
It's
nice
nice.
little side dish. You know
It
what I'm
is
saying?
nice.
But
It's like hummus.
yeah, exactly.
You know what? I might take some of this.
You just take a little bit of it, but you're not there. You're not going to eat hummus for the whole meal.
Yeah,
Main
what- yeah, you're not
course,
gonna get
dude.
full
That's
off of
crazy.
hummus.
What am I? Oh yeah, what am I? Middle Eastern? Yeah. And it's also like there's so low pressure, dude. You can't miss the asshole. Like you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you got to find the clit.
You don't really have to find the butthole.
No, dude,
The
if
butthole
you-
kind of finds you. I like to, yeah. It's
Yeah,
kinda
that's
beautiful.
what Mom always said. It's like the butthole is going to find you.
But I like the idea, but it's like it's got to be a well maintenance toll for me. I mean, it's got to
Yeah.
be really
Yeah, it
like
can't be under construction.
Oh wait, what is he
No,
pulling?
not
My boy,
process
he
hole.
pulled up. My boyfriend keeps getting pink eye from eating my ass. That's so good.
You can follow him on Instagram at Matt Ross Comic.
Yeah, that's really funny, dude. That's a guy. So here's the thing: if he keeps getting pink eye, that's a guy who's passionate.
Oh yeah,
That's a guy.
He's a
yeah,
He's not even eating. He's just
yeah.
his headbang to
he's not. Yeah.
doing a dance move
He's
on
got
a butthole.
it. Because like, here's the thing: you can eat ass without your eye ever getting there.
Yeah, of course.
I would reckon,
You get
bro.
submerged.
Listen,
Here's
dude.
the thing: if you're 69ing and she's just sitting on your face, and you're
True.
naturally eating the pussy, your eyes are right there, dude.
Yeah,
That's
you
true.
catch
Your
it straight.
nose is kind of there.
Oh yeah,
Your nose is
and you don't
in.
want your nose to be there.
No.
So you try to avoid the nose, and then it's just straight eyes. Dude.
That's why I don't necessarily love eating pussy from the back, because then it's like you're basically just fingering them with your nose at one point.
That's right.
As much as I fucking
For me,
love
it's full
eating-
penetration, dog. I'm not.
Yeah.
It's like
Okay, so
Got the
this
girthy
is a
piece on my
Reddit
face.
thread. As much as I fucking love eating ass, I hear pink eye is levels of suffering that I would stop if that was the cost. Eating my ass, but don't wear something to prevent getting this painful eye condition, cause it kills the mood. That would be good. Could you imagine?
You're wearing PPE.
You're fucking eating pussy, and then you're like, turn around, and then you just fucking put rec specs on.
You get
safety
like,
glasses.
Like, all right, here we go.
you get the fucking you get the basketball mask on.
Yeah.
The Kareem Abdul-Jabbar
I think if
glasses.
you're getting pink eye from eating ass, you don't know how to eat ass. Your eyeballs shouldn't be in there, unless you made a good point. The sitting thing.
yeah. I mean, well, that's the bigger the girl. You know
The
what
bigger
I'm
the
saying?
butthole?
The bigger. Well, it's like the more
also-
it's going on back there.
Yeah, dude, it's harder.
She's probably don't wipe that good.
The
you know
more
what I'm saying?
cheek you have, the harder it is to get it fully
The
clean.
bigger the
Yeah.
girl, the bigger the butthole.
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
Is that real? Do you think your butthole does the size of your butthole like get dictated by
I
the
can't
weight?
imagine so.
Look, as a guy who's dabbled,
And thick.
you
Yeah,
like
the
you
thick
like it, you
arts.
like the you like them big?
Dude, speaking of, can you please tell your Phoenix story? With the lady with the.
Okay, I will.
Please,
I'll
dude.
do it.
It's my favorite story. I know you've told
have
me
you
it
ever
so
been
many
in?
times.
Have you ever been to Arizona?
Yeah.
We've been. So we went.
That's
We've
right,
done
that's right.
stand up
So you
live
know.
in Tempe.
Yeah. What?
There's a drought out there.
Oh, yeah.
Bitches be thirsty out there. It's
There's
crazy.
not- yeah. It's
Oh,
a
yeah, it's a
desert,
desert,
literally,
baby.
man.
Yeah.
People are thirsty. Yeah.
So it's so this was like fucking 2.5, maybe 3 years ago now, actually. Yeah, so we did a show in Stand Up Live, which is I think like next to Tempe.
Yeah.
And so we did the show. I had a good set. I got off, and then someone messaged me on Instagram, and I saw it was like an older lady, and she was like, "Oh, good set. Like, love to grab a drink with you after." I was like, "All right, cool, yeah, whatever, no big deal." I was like, "Cool, yeah." She was, and I couldn't tell from the picture how attractive she was or anything. I just was like, "Cool, yeah, I love a drink. Fucking free drinks, sure." So then after we go to the bar, and it's like. Dude, it's like a 6'1" black lady.
Hell yeah.
Like a middle-aged black lady who's like really tall, bro. Like really tall. Eye to eye for me, which is like kind of weird. I'm not used to that at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like a shooting guard for the Pacers.
Yeah, dude, she's the WNBA player for
Yeah,
sure.
she's built like a fucking.
And so she buys all of us drinks on the show. And I'm making her laugh. Like we're like hitting it off. Like the chemistry's there. I was like, wow, this is wild. Like this is so like not usually my type. You know,
Right.
her name's LaShonda, and I'm like, wow, this is sick. I feel like Napoleon Dynamite's brother in the fucking movie right now, playing footsie under the table, dog. And so she's telling me about her job at T-Mobile. We're like vibing on like all this silly shit.
I don't know why that's so funny.
And so she got like kids or whatever, I guess, and then she starts just going like off, like kind of the conversation gets horny pretty fast.
Yeah.
She starts talking about all the sex toys she got and vibrators and how she's like separated from her husband now. And I was like, oh wow, that's like, I'm sorry, but also like, I'm sorry.
I wonder how different you and her husband are.
Oh, I'll tell you. And so she's like, oh, you want to like go to another bar? I'm like, sure, yeah. So like we go out to her minivan, her Toyota Sierra, dude. I'll never forget it. And then
Amazing.
we go in her van. She has to clear out the car seats in the back. She has like 3-4 car seats, and she's moving the car seats so we can like make out in the back seat of her car, right? And so she's like, moving all these fucking seats back there, all like fucking baby bottles and all this bullshit, soccer balls. And we're both pretty tall, so we're just like trying to make room, and my knee keeps like hitting like one of the car seats while I'm like trying to finger her in the back of her minivan. We have like a long night of like making out. It was like pretty hot and steamy in the minivan. And I was like crashing with like other comics in the hotel room, so we couldn't like go back to the hotel. So I'm like, this was fun, but I like my hotel room. She's got kids, whatever. I'm like, it's a fun night, whatever, in the minivan. She's like, oh, I really want to go to your show tomorrow, too, like at Tempe Improv. I was like, okay, cool, yeah, it's like down the street or whatever from where she lived. And I was like, cool, yeah, that sounds great. And so she like dropped me off. It was so funny because I remember she dropped me off at the hotel in her minivan. I got out and I was like, thanks, Mom. That's a good bit. Could not make that joke. And then, so the next day, we get to the Tempe Improv and like, she's there and, oh, dude, this is so crazy because so she's there and I like save her a seat or whatever. And she's like, oh, hey, like she hugs me and she like slips something in my hand and it's like a remote. And she's like, yeah, I want you to vibrate me while you're on stage.
Hell yeah.
And I'm like, okay. I'm like, I don't know. Like, because I'm like 2 years in the comedy, dude. I'm like, this is like, I'm not really built for this. I don't know like how to go
I don't know
about
if
this.
you know this, but when I'm up there, am only thinking about that.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm gonna be able to do this. So, dude, this was so fun. I put the remote in my back pocket, and so like as I like hit jokes, I would just like casually like zap. I would just hit a punchline and just,
Dude,
like this.
that's so
Bro.
And so I hit my closer, zapped her like 5-6 times. And then we go to the back, and I go to the green room, and I'm telling like everybody this, like all the comics. And dude, there's comics in there. It was like Matt, Tim, but also like their buddy of theirs from LA. All of them have been doing comedy for like 15 years, and none of them heard of anything like that.
That's
They were like,
crazy.
they were like,
That's
what
hilarious.
the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
They're like,
Dude.
how? Are you serious? And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, I have it right now. And I was like zapping her from the green room.
You're just passing it around. Everybody's like, zap
You
that
do it.
pass.
That
You know
goes
what
on
I
stage
mean?
like, I'm fucking murdering
Yeah.
right now. Some girl's like, ah!
Yeah. That is, but yeah.
Yeah. So we was like, that's a good bit.
It's like, damn, you're working on new shit on stage. You're like, I mean, it wasn't doing that great, but there was a black lady who could not keep it together out
She
there.
loved my
maybe I should
material.
do more like urban shows, honestly. You know
Doing
what
an
I
all
mean?
black room now.
That is so crazy.
Yeah, and then we like went to her place after. She had like she didn't have the kids that night or whatever, and it was in her suburb, nice house, dude. She had pictures of her family all around. This one I started to get like feeling bad about this. I was like, man, this is fucked. And then like, dude, her husband was like attractive, dude. He looked like Michael B. Jordan. Swear to God, like an attractive black guy.
Yeah, so pretty different.
And I'm like, wow, this is insane. Like, why am I'm in like a den, like I'm all denim, like I'm like a guy from like the Outsiders, and I'm like, hey, LaShonda.
So they're like normal penis just in this lady's house, just like, oh, what the fuck, dude?
It's so crazy.
Man. Dude,
It was
that's
so crazy.
So funny.
And so,
bro.
dude, this is the second half of the story you haven't even heard.
Oh yes, there's
So
more.
this is like part 2 of the story. So this is probably like 6 months after. This is like I think this is like a little bit after the pandemic. I went back, and she's like still messaging me. By the way, before I left, oh my God. So whenever the first time after I spent the night at her house, she dropped me off at the airport, and she set it up on my phone to where my phone was connected to the vibrator.
Oh my God, she downloaded an
long
app for
distance,
you?
yeah, long
crazy.
distance shit, which was wild, right? Which was just crazy. It was just so weird, so crazy. And I was just, I was kind of like, I don't know, like this is just weird. Like I'm not really trying to be like that with like a, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This was just like a weird instance with the lady.
Yeah.
I don't want to really keep this going. I didn't expect her to want to keep this going either. She's going through a separation, divorce thing.
Yeah.
And so, like, fast forward, like 5 months later, we go back to Arizona, and she hits me up seeing that we were going there. And then she's like, oh, I want to go to your show. And I'm like, I ignore it.
Oh.
I totally ignore it, which I felt bad about doing, really.
Yeah.
Looking back, I really felt bad. But I didn't know how to say no, like whatever. I felt bad, like turning down. I felt like this was like kind of an easy way to let her go because we didn't talk for months, you know? Mm-hmm. And then, dude, she shows up to the show with presents for me.
Oh.
Yeah, dude.
Wait, what?
yeah.
What could these?
Like she gave me she bought me like clothes and like underwear and like nice shit, and then like she bought me like a notebook that like has like erasable like ink and shit on it and like all this stuff, like great joke and like all this stuff, and I'm like, oh man, it's so nice, dude.
That's so I mean, it's not crazy.
felt
It's really,
so
really nice.
Yeah.
But it's like, damn, dude, how'd she even know your size? Like,
I know.
that's crazy.
She's eyeballing him.
dude.
It was just such a weird thing to experience, like especially like 2 years into stand up, like
Yeah.
just kind of not really knowing how to
Yeah.
handle like this kind of level of like,
Right.
I'm not famous, like I'm not even that good at this, like this is just weird.
Yeah.
Like you're clearly going through something.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to
Yeah,
handle it.
That's
Yeah.
really probably the biggest.
Emotional support dick.
Yeah, seriously, dude. She was just like, I just want to take care of something. My kids aren't around all the time anymore,
Yeah.
and they used to be.
Oh yeah, it was
dude.
so sad.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude.
But yeah, LaShonda, dude, shout out to her and
Shout out
forget her.
LaShonda.
I,
Is
Is
I,
that, is that the camera or is that the
if
camera?
you're,
definitely-
yeah,
I
there you go.
definitely like felt bad, and I like apologized to her after we like made up and stuff. She understood, but yeah, it was just like one of those things where I didn't know how to like end it. You know what I mean? That's kind of where I stopped. Like,
Yeah.
especially like on the road, it's just like it's just so messy. It's not worth it.
Yeah,
you know?
well, that I mean, dude, and I mean, like that's a rare occasion. I think, like, like I've like hung out with ladies at shows and after shows and whatnot, but like that, like nobody's ever bought me clothes. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever been like, your Levi's look a little worn. Like, here, I got you a new pair of black jeans, like ever. So that's crazy. I get the. I was thinking about this story. It's funny.
Oh, it was so crazy. She got me like tight, like crazy, like
She gets you like a
like weird underwear, like weird underwear, like
and
shit
one jersey.
I was
I
like
don't wear
pulling
that.
I was opening
Like a doer.
I was opening it in the green room in front of all the other comics too, and like pulled it out and it was like just like tight like Speedo underwear. I'm like, oh shit.
She was in. She's in there watching you, and
You shouldn't have.
Dude, Matt and Tim were there just dying laughing, bro.
Dude,
One of
that's
the
so fucking
funniest thing.
funny, bro. I told this story on the podcast once, and then I made you take it out. But you talking about like there being pictures of like her family all over the place. Do you remember this? I made you take it out, but I'm gonna tell it now because it feels like
And it's staying in.
yeah, it's staying in. Well, I had you take it out out of respect for somebody who yeah. Anyways, so I matched with this lady on Tinder. This is like forever ago. This might be before I even started stand up. And she was like, hey, like come meet me out. So like we met at a bar. We like played pool. We were like making out at the bar, which is like very much not my thing. And then she was like, I want you to go home with me. And I was like, okay. And then she was like, I live right around the corner, but I have a husband. And he knows he will leave and we can do it at my place. And that's just like kind of like what our deal is. And dude, I was so horny, bro. I was so horny. I was like, fine, yes, okay, absolutely. So we go, and this becomes like a pretty regular occurrence that I hook up with this lady. The first thing
She's
I noticed,
like, I have HIV, and you're like, well, it's better than herpes.
she was like, I have a husband and HIV. And I was like, as long as you don't have herpes, I'm in, man.
You're like,
I'm in, dude.
statistically speaking. Wait, are you absolutely positive right now? I think I follow you on TikTok.
Fuck, yeah. So I get there and we go in the room, and first thing I notice is more cameras than are in this room right now, dude. I mean, there are cameras all over. There's probably 6 cameras on the corner of the room. There's like a big gun safe in the room, like. And I was just like, yo, what's up with these cameras? And she was like, my husband is like works in tech. He's like super into all this stuff. I can show you where they go. I can show you that they're off, whatever. And I was just like, lady I just met, I completely trust you. Like, I was just like, whatever. So I was like, okay, cool. And then the next thing I notice is like, probably like, I want to say like a cubic yard painting of her and her husband over their bed.
Oh my God.
Of just like, it's not a painting, it's a picture, but she's sitting like this and he's like behind her with like his hand on her shoulders, and it's almost like they're looking down at the bed while I'm fucking this guy's wife. Like, it was
that's so crazy,
it was
dude.
so crazy, right? So
I'm just picturing this guy flying in a drone.
yeah.
He's a real tech guy. He's into this stuff. He has like goggles on.
Yeah.
The drone has a dildo attached to it.
She's got an earpiece in.
He's trying to line it up.
She's got an earpiece in. He's like, all right, now tickle his balls.
She got a little thing.
So it was crazy, but like the sex was so good. And this was like, I mean, it was so long ago now. I mean, I was probably like 2-ish years sober. So I was just like, pussy's never been better than when you first get sober. Like, I don't know what it was. It was just like, I was like trying new things, was having a good time. And
a new addiction is what
I was trying to fill a void, you could say. And,
became a full sex addict.
and so, like, eventually, like, dude, we're like laying in bed. Like, we had finished having sex. And she just like looked at me, and this has happened, it's probably happened a dozen times by this time. Like, and she goes, you know, he's here, right? And I was just like,
oh no.
I was like, you know, I kind of figured, but I didn't like hearing it, you know?
But didn't she say he was leaving?
So yeah, but here's the thing. That's what she said the first time, and then it became like an unspoken thing where, because like sometimes I would be like driving through the city and I'd hit her up and she'd be like, yeah, come over. And then she was like, you know, you hit me up last minute. It's 11:30 on a Tuesday right now. I didn't make him like go drive around the block for an hour. You know what I mean? And I was like, yeah, I mean, I guess that kind of makes sense. And he was like I never met him. I know exactly what he fucking looks like because his, you know, I saw his face while I was banging his wife a couple dozen times. And then
he knows what your dick looks like. That's the crazy part. He knows so much about you. Let me tell you what,
he might know more than my dick looks like. I mean, he might know the face I make when I come. Like, I mean, really, like there were so many camera angles, bro.
Jesus.
I remember what sent me over the edge was like two things back to back. I told my buddy about this, and he was like, listen, this dynamic is super weird, and you're weird for this. If you're going to fuck somebody's wife, you better be ready to fight naked. That's what he told me. And I was like, okay, good moment. Good idea. So then I still did it once after that. And we were
oh, man.
We were laying in bed, and I heard a knock on the door, on the bedroom door. And I immediately, dude, just like the most nerves I've ever felt in my life. I was like, this is the moment. I just came and now I have to fuck this guy up. Like, you know what I mean? Or whatever. And then I hear, Mom.
And they were into role play. No.
Dude, yeah.
Mommy. And it was him with a charcuterie board.
It was him with a diaper on the other side.
Yeah.
But dude, yeah, no, it was, she got up naked and answered the door, and it was like her little kid. And like, she was like, go back to bed, and like had to walk him to bed. And I was like, I shouldn't be here. There are so many signs that say I shouldn't be here.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that was nuts.
I've had a similar scenario. This was like when I was like 21 or 22. I like just got out of like a really long-term relationship, and I was like at this bar, and I was like watching a friend's band. Met this older lady at the time. She was like 32 or something, and I was like 10 years older than me. I was like, wow, this lady's like really attractive, but she's like way older than me. No way I have a chance. I never hooked up with anyone that like even like remotely older than me. But like we were like flirting. We kind of like hit it off. We end up like going back to her place, and it was like a house. I was like, oh, this place is like nice. I'm like, I'm sure maybe she has like a roommate or something. So like I go in, and she's like, oh, just be quiet. Like I have to go in like the other room real quick. Like so we go in her room. She goes in the other room, and I notice like she's like talking to somebody, and I notice she's like, it's her mom. Like I pick up on the conversation. I'm like, oh, it's her like mom. The fuck.
Whoa.
You know? And I'm like, oh, this is like kind of weird. And I don't really know her scenario. Like, I don't really know her situation, like living situation. I don't know if she's like, I didn't even know if she was like from there or like we weren't really that close. So then she comes to the room. I end up having sex with her for sure because I was like, I was like horny as shit at 21 years old. She had like fake tits, whatever. Never had sex with a girl with fake tits, nice fake tits. I was like, oh yeah, this is great. This is all day.
Yeah.
And so we had sex. The next day I wake up. I know she has a kid, and I know that like the kid wasn't there, and like it was like really young kid or whatever. And so anyway, I wake up the next day, dude, and like the way the house is set up is like a long hallway, and like all the rooms connect to this hallway. Mm-hmm. And I get out of the room, and a 12-year-old boy walks out of the room right next to me, and I'm like, shit. And the kid's just like looks at me, and then like walks into the kitchen, and I'm like, oh man, this is fucking awkward, man. He definitely heard all of that, dude. He definitely heard all of that. Bro. You know what I mean?
12 is enough too, where it's like
he knows exactly what's going down.
Yeah, dude, 100%. I was probably just starting to jerk off when I was 12.
Right.
Like, and at least you gave him something to do that too.
Yeah. So then I walked in the kitchen, man, and I'm like distraught. Like I'm like trying to like just be like put together my night. Like I was like, where am I even at right now? And the mom's like, her mom, I meet right then and there.
Great.
So then I'm like, hey, yeah. She's like, you want to stay for breakfast burritos? I'm like, I don't know. And then like she's like, and then like the girl, like Chloe walks in, and she's like, oh hey, like just sit down, like real quick, like just have breakfast, blah blah. I'm like, oh, all right. I'm like 21, so I'm like not like I'm like not made to like be like I gotta go. I have like work, and
dude.
Like looking back, I 100% should have been like,
I'm out.
But so I was like, okay, sit at the counter, and the 12-year-old comes like out of the bathroom, like sits right next to me, and I'm like, dude, fuck. And then the kid turns to me and he goes, Chloe's my mom, right? And I was like,
dude,
man. And you're like, I'm X-Pwn Slayer 23 on Xbox
so crazy
Live.
With a 12-year-old,
fuck your mom.
What's so crazy with a 12-year-old, just to say that sentence, He knew it, like
of course.
he knew what he was communicating to me and everything. You know what I'm saying?
God, dude. And the crazy thing
Where I
is,
was
you were
like,
probably you were closer to his age than you were to
Yeah,
her.
you're definitely closer.
And I'm like, fuck.
Dang,
And so
dude.
like the mom's still making breakfast burritos, and she goes, she didn't hear him say that, right? And so the mom goes, "Oh, let me just go get the dogs, bring the dogs in real quick." I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, great. I'm meeting everybody.
I'm like, "Okay, this might be a good way for me to get out of here." Dude, she opens the door, 13 dogs run through the fucking door. Of all different sizes and shapes,
Holy
dude.
shit.
Just a herd of dogs, dude. Run in. And I'm like, I got to get the fuck out of here.
Dude,
where am I at
what
right
is
now?
the next thing that's going to happen, dude?
This is
Everything is
fucking crazy.
escalating to a crazy degree.
She's like, it's
I
time
can't
for the
keep up.
sacrifice.
dude. She's like, you know what? I'm just going to light some candles. She's like, lighting candles.
She's like, can
on
you
a
just get on this
fucking-
wooden board, please, and spread out?
Dude, yeah, I would have
I got
gotten the
ropes for your
fuck
feet and
out of
hands.
there.
Bro, so I'm like wrapping it up. I'm like grabbing my shit. I'm like, okay, I gotta go. And she goes, and like, and I'd like stop her in the hallway. I'm like, why didn't you tell me you have a fucking 12-year-old kid right next to-" And she goes, he's not real, like he's my kid, but like I had him at 16, and then my mom like adopted him, so he's like kind of like my brother, you know. And I'm
Except
like,
he came out
That's
of
like-
my pussy.
I'm like,
That's mental illness.
Sure, but
Which
like
you guys have
no,
in common.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like sure, but also no.
yeah, dude, it's not.
That's
Also,
And their dynamic was weird, dude. Like she would talk to him like a brother. Like it was very odd.
damn,
man.
dude. Damn, that's fucking nuts because it's like that kid knows he's like, you know, technically that's my mom you were banging, right?
Oh, yeah.
technically.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it
Technically.
is, right? It's also weird, even if they weren't, let's just say they were brother and sister and they live with the mom and then she brought you home. Still crazy. Still
nuts.
wild to be like, I'm just going to bring you back to my family
Just
home and you're
didn't-
going to meet my mom and brother in the morning. Oh, and our baker's dozen amount of dogs.
Yeah, like just didn't even tell me that, didn't like relay that to me in any kind of way, and just dropped that on me like morning of, dude. I mean, talk about mind fuck. I like didn't know how to handle it at all. 21 years old, I was like,
Dude, 21, I would have been out of my
gotta
mind.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I just quickly got out of there because then like the dad's gonna come drop the 4-year-old out. I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah, dude, I gotta get out
I'm
of here.
leaving. What?
I gotta
What?
get out of here. The dad's
No.
coming to bring the rest of the lot. I'm out.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah,
Not
yeah.
a chance.
The mom was too much for me. Like,
Yeah.
like, this is like crazy.
You gotta shake a dad's hand. Be like, yeah.
Hey,
hello.
fucked your wife.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Jesus is right.
Yeah,
man.
too much. That's
You
the
need 'em.
Louisiana behavior, dude.
Oh,
for
is that
sure.
was in Louisiana?
Yeah.
Wait, so when did you? Because you were in Louisiana. You started
Till I was-
comedy in Dallas, right?
Yeah, well, I did like a couple mics in Louisiana, and then like everyone that I talked to was like, "Yeah, you should just move because there's like no point."
Yeah.
How old were you when you started?
I was 24
And
years
where
old.
where in Louisiana were you doing mics and shit?
Baton Rouge was like,
Oh, okay.
Had like a couple things because I was like just out of school at the time, and then
Did you
yeah,
graduate college?
Yeah, I graduated.
Where'd you go?
LSU
Oh, okay. No shit. What'd you get your degree
Tigers, baby.
business school.
in? Okay, hell yeah.
And
Yeah.
then
Because I've performed in Lafayette, and like there's like a little scene, there, but it's not. And then we've been to New Orleans. New Orleans is a fucking nightmare
that
place. It's a nightmare
not
to perform
dirty
comedy.
comedy,
Yeah.
dude.
I don't
It's one of my
like the
least
city
favorite-
of
yeah,
New
it's my
Orleans.
least
I did
favorite
one.
city, one of
I
my
went
least.
back after doing it in Dallas for a second, and then went back and do a show in New Orleans, like visiting family, and it was like a courtyard, just bar show, and
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
a half burlesque, half comedy show.
Of course.
That's sick.
Oof! Oh, dude.
I've opened for a few burlesque shows, and it's never
Oh, man.
it's never a good combination.
You can't
No.
top
You can't do. Yeah. What am I gonna do?
like-
be better than like a fat lady that's like
Just dudes
getting
rock
undressed?
hard. I'm trying to perform
Yeah,
for.
exactly.
Trying to get rid of a chub. And I'm like, ah,
And
man.
I have to be like, hey, you guys know when your mom hates you?
So you went from Dallas to LA like super early, right?
Yeah, 1 year in,
Crazy.
and everyone told me not to do that.
Of course. Yeah. Of
Yeah,
course.
which is they're right. I mean, I went, and then 5 months later, the fucking pandemic started while I was in LA.
Kind of your fault. Honestly,
Absolute
it seems
shit
like
show.
it. You
Yeah,
didn't listen to
I
the
anybody.
kinda
dots are
started
adding
it.
up, dude.
But no, but you did good shit there though. You made some connections,
Well, no,
right?
that's what's kind of funny. It's like if I didn't do that, I don't think I don't know if I'd be working at Mothership. I like kind of don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like because I made a lot of good connections. That's like I met like a lot of the door guys at the store, and like that's who like kind of sort of had like an in to choosing who was going to audition and stuff like that. So like if I wouldn't have done that, I don't know if I'd have been that close to those dudes and would have made those connects.
Yeah, man.
Kind of crazy.
100%.
I mean, I know that just the ones that I can think of off the top of your head of like, you knowing Jeremiah Watkins and Fahim, and then you met Matt and Tim in LA, right?
Yeah.
You know, Yeah, dude, that's crazy. Yeah. So, okay. So explain what the process of the mothership door guy thing was. Because I think you told me, but like, it's kind of...
It's weird, man, because I don't even know exactly who chose it. I know it was like kind of it was like a group of people, and I think it was like, I know Red Band was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Adam Egget was one of them. And then like, I think there was like a few others that are like former door guys of the store who like now live in Austin.
Right.
And so then I think they kind of like chose names. I mean, everyone that auditioned, it seemed like for the most part, it was like, yeah, all these people kind of belong doing the audition for the most part.
Right.
There was some that are like, okay,
I guess.
sure.
Yeah.
You know?
How many people auditioned?
30 people.
Oh shit! I mean,
So-
even that's not that much.
So they did a whole secret show in front of a live audience.
Mm-hmm.
So an hour and a half show. Matt Rife was on it.
Holy shit!
Yeah, like
at Sunset.
no, at Vulcan.
Oh shit!
They did like a whole secret show. So like all the big door guys were on it. Tony Hinchcliffe was on it. Like they did a whole hour and a half comedy show, like a slammed comedy show where they're crushing the whole time. And then they go, okay, now we're going to do the audition.
Holy, because if there's 30 people doing, you guys did what, 3-minute sets?
Yeah, 3-minute sets in front of the same
shit,
another
dude.
hour and
crowd
a
that's
half.
been watching a whole comedy show.
Yeah, because I did the secret show. Whenever the last time I hear was at Sunset, and it was so long that like I'm glad. At first I was like, damn, I'm going up kind of early. I went up like third or something, and it was great. And then I watched the rest of the show, and like really funny comics were having trouble because like, you know, the like Red Band just kept throwing people on the list. The show literally took like 2.5, 3 hours. So
yeah, that's
and
what
then
happens.
so you go up 90 minutes into a show.
Oh, yeah,
when you're doing 3 minutes.
More than 90, because I went like kind of like I went further down in the list of the audition. So
But that's really how you know if you're funny, though.
Yeah.
Too. That's a good point. That's a good. I mean, it's kind of like a good litmus test.
well, I
'cause
got
it's like,
like an applause break halfway through my set, and I'm like, oh, I think I got this.
Yeah,
you know what I
100%.
mean? But then there was a
100%.
lot of people that had good sets too. That's what's kind of like. Well, I was kind of like, ugh, a lot of people had good sets.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I went earlier than some, you know, and like
Yeah. Well, that's like the thing about Austin that like, dude, like I know Florida, like Florida, the scene, like you can get good stage time, but dude, like when you're on a show, dude, most of the people fucking suck. And like here, like, you know, like I did like crew show last night and like I want to stand out because I want to like, you know, be impressive in front of Adam. And it's like, but everybody else on there is funny. You know what I mean?
The thing about the crew show though is most we're using that as our open mic,
Right. And I
like,
could tell that.
We're doing a lot of new stuff and we're trying to work stuff out because Adam Egget's seen all of our jokes already,
Right.
Probably 5 times over. So it's like not like, you know, ideally you want to do as much new stuff as you can every single week, like and work shit out outside of the crew.
Right.
To where when you go to the crew, you're just killing.
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
with the new, but it creates a crazy process. I mean, it's stressful. I mean, I'm writing every day trying to come up with
That's good though. I like
it's good, but the problem is I haven't been able to figure out how to do new and connect with old like simultaneously, where it's like just flowing.
Right.
You know what I
So
mean?
you get like little sections of like you get like this is like
Yeah.
this is a 5-minute chunk and then this is the new 2-minute chunk. How do
Yeah.
I make the 2-minute chunk
Yeah, it's
merge?
like in Disneyland, right?
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
I know we were just talking about my dad, but fucking Disneyland.
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
And then you can make you know, sort of like I guess the strategy is like, oh, just make like fake segues. Where like, you know, one time my dad brought me to Disneyland, but it just it just seems so inauthentic to me. And it's not connecting like I want it to. Like you watch like a Shane Gillis or something, and all his shit's connecting so like it's like fluid, dude, and it's so smooth. Nate Bargatze's another one where it's like just so smooth, so fluid, and I don't know how to like get there yet.
Dude, I honestly I think like sometimes when I watch people like pros do it, if you're really, really focusing, you can go, oh, this is just the start of a completely new bit that doesn't have anything to do with the last one. They do it with such confidence and so smoothly, and they've been doing it for so long that you don't even realize it. Whereas, like, if you watch somebody, even like a newer, like us newer, like 4 or 5 years, whatever, sometimes you can see where it's like, okay, the end of one thought, and then it's like, oh, my dad is, and then you're like, oh, this is like not related at all. Like, it's something almost about just the way you present it, not even the fact that there's like actually a segue in between.
That's like the weird thing that I have with like my act is like I always try to feel like I want to make it make sense because you don't want to go up front and then just be this random dude and they don't know anything about you, and now I have to be like, and my girlfriend, and it's like, why am I talking about my girlfriend before I'm talking about me? So then I try to make it make sense, but then the funny, it's like hard to
and
front
starting a set, my God.
Dude, it's a fucking nightmare.
I start, and this is like a fault of mine, but also it's like, fuck, like I start every set with the same joke.
Yeah,
every single time, because it's such a it rolls in, it's a good joke, and that's it.
I've been doing that. But I got tired of that, and so now
I'm tired of it.
I've been forcing myself to not do that now. But it is hard. It is very hard for me because so many of my stuff does flow out of that one first joke idea, kind of just establishing where I'm from, and kind of like the funniness of like, Swamp People as a show and being from that town is funny. You know what I'm saying? But and then it bleeds all into like the hurricane joke I got, and then the Southern hospitality joke I got, and like all this like stuff. So it's like if I don't start with that, it's kind of like I'm bringing up out of nowhere.
Yeah, you're like unwinding. Because I have this thing where I've been talking to him about this recently. But like, this is just talking shop now. I'm sorry if you're fucking whatever, but it's like.
Fuck you guys. You guys got fucking riffs.
Yeah, you got the riffs.
You got riffs and good stories, you assholes, dude.
Come on. I always have this fear of like, because I always start out, I do like a thing where I do like a joke in the beginning. I do 2 jokes, and then I start going, and I'm from Iowa. Then I tell like things that aren't even about Iowa. I just mention that I'm from Iowa, so then they kind of go, oh, and then I talk about the military. In my head, it makes sense because it's like, okay, I proved that I'm funny. Then I told you that I'm from Iowa, so now you know me. Now I talk about the military. But lately, I hate it because I hate front loading because that Iowa thing, it's not better than the stuff that's after it. It's just like a thing that I do because I want them to go, I know this guy. You know what I'm saying? And it's like,
I think it's like anything else, no matter what I started playing pool a lot after my like shift at work. We'll go to like 7 Grand, which is a really nice pool hall in like off 6th Street. And like you watch people play, and there's people that have been playing for like years, and the smoothness of their shots and then how they leave the ball, like where it leaves to the next shot, and then they go to the next one and the next one and the next one. You go like, oh wow, there's like it's like an onion. You know what I'm saying? Like when you first start, you have a good solid outer layer, but then like you break down to like you have to shed that, because that's like a part of growth. You know what I'm saying? Everyone's having that phase in Mothership too. You're watching people like sort of shed their layers of like, okay, yeah, you have that fucking opening joke you always do. That's like really good. But like you have to figure out how to not have that every time.
Yeah.
100%.
That was like the thing, like with what I open with like the fucking, and I like hate it now, but it's like the joke about getting my dick sucked at the gay bar is like how I open every time. It's like, Austin, like I've been here since Saturday. I did a show. Afterwards, people took me to a gay bar, and now I'm in the bit, and it was natural, whatever. But it's like, that's a joke that I could like close with. Like it gets a good enough pop, but it's like, then I heard the thing, like I think Louis said, it was like, get a joke where it's like a closer and then open with it and start. But now I'm starting to feel backwards. Now I'm starting to feel like I need to figure out another joke that's strong enough to open with. But I like get insecure about it because.
No, I think it's just good to start with something that's like quick.
Yeah.
Something that gets a laugh quick. Like literally anything.
That's what I got.
Like the fastest laugh you could possibly get.
That's literally what I got. I mean, I got told by one of the guys that I like was like my mentor in Iowa. He was like, which is it's kind of a
my mentor in Iowa,
kind of like
just
a
the funniest guy who worked at the tractor supply.
He was the guy. He was the best guy at a come and go, and he was like, it doesn't like he always said just say something about the room. It doesn't necessarily need to be a home run, just to let them know that you're there. Yeah. And so I always the thing I always do is I just walk out and I go hello, and I say it like silly, and then it's like right there, it just gets, it's like, oh, okay, that it's just within one word, and they go, oh, okay, versus like when somebody just goes up, traffic here is crazy, and it's like, it's like such a weird,
dude, comedy, the crowd is so, like, not to get so, like, fucking, like, there's so many minds in there, there's so many different people, like, I'll never forget, I've said this before recently, but, like, because I was just with Jeremiah again, which, like, this is the first weekend I ever did was with you and him and Dania, and on our very last show, he wore like a basketball jersey with like a t-shirt on under it. And a lady came up to him after the show and was like, I felt like I wasn't going to like you, like, cause you didn't take it seriously. Like I dressed up for you and you're just dressed in like a jersey. And you realize like, oh, like I'm performing to like psychos. Like
Yeah, I'm performing
that's
to
how
retards.
easily somebody can make the decision to not like you.
Yeah.
Like you could have a goatee and somebody's ex could have had a goatee and they could be like, fuck this goatee having ass motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like you really do have to be like, I promise I'm good.
I'm gonna be honest.
Quick.
That's what happened with me in the competition.
Oh yeah.
Where like I'm doing, so I have like this whole. I was worried about doing it because I have this whole like, I mean, it's not really. I don't know. I like to toy the line, like where I'm like on the line, I'm not going over the line, but sometimes like maybe like touch over and then like come back and like that's fun for me, you know. And it's a lot of people would get offended by some of the jokes or whatever maybe, but I feel like I'm pretty confident where like I've gotten to the point where it's like I'm trying to go right down the middle and where everyone likes it.
Yeah.
And dude, after the show, they had this. I'm assuming trans person that like walked up to me there. It looked like a dude in a dress with long hair, and they had a mask on.
Ooh.
And they were like, "You were my favorite."
You're
Like, because they walked up and like whenever they first walked up, I was like, "Oh boy, yeah, like here comes the fucking political fucking here comes some kind of speech or something or some kind of criticism or whatever." And they're like, "Yo, you were my favorite," and I was like, "Wow, that's a win."
See, that's
you know
so
what I mean?
cool.
That's like a win for me.
That's so fucking cool because
Right.
that's probably just like, you know what that probably is like a real person who is a comedy fan.
Yeah.
And they go, oh, these are jokes.
But like to me, whenever you see that person, you're like, oh man, they're gonna get offended by something or anything I said or something because I had like gay joke or whatever.
I do it with old people a lot.
Yeah, I do that
because
same.
that's what happens in Florida a
That's what I
lot.
was
Is
thinking
like
too.
I'll walk out or like I'll be looking at a crowd and I'm like, fuck, dude, they're old. They're not gonna fucking like me. And then I'll do great. Because I always think for some reason like, oh, old people are just so like prim and proper. It's like, no, dude, old people like used to and probably still do like suck dick. You know what I mean? Like they still like to fuck. They still like fucking fingering jokes and shit like that. You know what I mean?
I did the most Florida thing. I did a fucking retirement center. It was just like it was Abby Ballman paid me some good. She gave me like $150. So I was like, yeah, I'll fucking go talk. And I did like a 20-minute set, and it was, I mean, it's not jokes at that point. You're just like, how are you? Is the applesauce here good? And like, I was fucking around, and I was like, all right, well, we're like, I don't know. I was like, you guys are older. Like, I mean, did anybody kill anybody in like the 30s and get away with it? And then this guy goes, Mark did. And then I turn and I look, and this guy's got in the corner. He's like, hunched, dude. He's like shriveled up. He's got a World War II hat on.
Oh yeah.
And he was like, I was in Normandy. And I was like, this is crazy. And then he just like talked about that.
Sick.
And I was like, yeah, fuck yeah.
That's the craziest crowd work ever.
Yeah.
He's like, I killed some of them.
Yeah, he was literally like, yep, and I got away with it.
Yeah.
It's like, God, that's the reality of performing in Florida. That's why Florida, dude, because I started in Iowa, then I moved to Denver, and then I got a writing gig in San Diego. Then from there, I moved to Florida after that shit fell through. And so it's like, I've done like 4 scenes, and I think Florida was the best for the amount of stage time you can get, but the quality of stage time is almost the worst.
Damn, so Austin's gonna be your 5th scene?
Yeah, dude.
Isn't that crazy?
It's like I get to the scene, I get to make friends, and then I go, see ya.
Journeyman, dude.
Yeah.
That's
Truly,
crazy.
dude.
Yeah,
Truly.
it's so weird to see what works in one state versus what doesn't
it's
But then,
insane.
but then it's also, you can also equate it to starting and then getting better and whatever. But it's like jokes, like I don't know, like I could talk about it for a while, but it's just like certain jokes would do so good in San Diego, and then I went to Florida, and people were like, no. You know, I had a joke about putting my dog down, and it used to like really work super well in San Diego, and then I went to Florida, and people just like, they like dogs there. I don't know what it was.
We don't want to hear about your dead
They
dog,
just really
weirdo.
like dogs there.
That's so funny. Austin's like that too.
Yeah.
Dog jokes.
Not great.
Touch and go here.
Yeah.
I have a dog joke right now. It's like, okay, it might work. Why not?
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I like the crowds here. I feel like one of the first times that I feel like I'm like performing for people in my demographic to some degree. You know what I mean? Like rather than like
just like whoever's at the show.
yeah, just like whoever happens to be. And I don't know if maybe it's like just the shows that I've been on. Like last time I was here, I did, Secret Show and like Mothership, Creek, like, and I've done, basically the same this week. And it's like always like fair, like younger, maybe a little bit older, like guys, girl, like it's a mix, but it's like people that I feel like are in my demographic rather than like being like damn, dude, there's like literally senior citizens here, or there's like people in like nice dresses. Like Miami's a weird one.
Dude,
where it's like
Miami
I'm performing for
sucks.
Hispanic people who are wearing Gucci, and I'm just like nothing about what.
And then they come up to the other show like, man, you.
My favorite.
When they can't speak English or anything, or they're like broken English, I'm like, damn, that's crazy. You had a good time. I feel like you would
No,
have
dude,
a
Well, I'll tell you what,
we hate Miami.
They
bro.
did not have a good. My first, dude, I had the worst bomb of my life in Miami, dude. It was the longest bomb I've ever had. I'm not kidding. I got maybe like 3 or 4 like pops. That was it. Like they were like, I was up there for like 30 minutes being like, "Dabba, dabba, dabba," and everyone was just like, no.
Well, you've done the Miami Improv.
Have you done that? Yeah, it's
well,
not.
I've done it where the mic didn't work twice. So
Oh, yeah.
That was that's another story for
That's
another time.
that's almost
Yeah.
better than.
Yeah,
but
Miami stinks. But
we're about at that time.
Yeah,
It looks like
I
so.
think
We
so.
should probably get going. I don't know. Do you have things that you want to plug?
Yeah, just at the CJ Landry on Instagram, dude. I'm always at Mothership, so if you want to come check out me at Mothership, just message me. I know it's like always sold out or whatever, but I could usually help somebody get in if they need to. I got
always
connections.
sold out. It's always sold out.
It's
but, like,
sold out a lot, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Everybody goes, I can't go see you because it's always sold out. It's not always sold out. There's a way to get in. There's shows that aren't exactly sold out, but yeah, just like hit me up if you're interested.
Yeah, it's very funny.
White Trash Podcast if you want to check it out. And hey, we just had Matt on, so
Yeah, go
That'll
watch
come
that
out soon.
episode. All right.
All right.
Thanks for coming.
Yep.
Oh, watch our sketches and stuff. You guys,
yeah, we go watch
You
the
good girls
sketches.
know what to do.
The good ladies. The good girls. All
Don't
right.
call them ladies.
Yeah, that's disrespectful.
Yeah.
Okay.
how
Bye
dare
bye.
you. All right. Bye.